Hi everyone and welcome. Today I am honored to be here interviewing my grandmother Dorothy Smith. She is a Casca elder and I am excited to hear about her life, culture, and the wisdom she carries. Grandma, thank you for being here with me today. Could you tell me where you were born and where you grew up?
I was born at Pellybanks, and Casca name is Gastuat Salmon River. It's about 90 miles from here on the Campbell Highway towards Watson Lake, and it used to be a big settlement, Indian settlement, before white people came. I grew up, my dad built a cabin so that I could be born in a cabin. And then in 1946, we had to move to Pelly Lakes because the water was too shallow around like the lakes and the river for the grocery plane to land. It was getting too shallow, so they have to go. We moved to Pelly Lakes, and that's where I grew up.
What do you remember most about the place you grew up in?
It was nice. It was by big lakes. There's 3 lakes joining together. Where our village, Indian village was, that was the biggest part, and across the lake there's a big high mountain that's called Traffic Mountain, and we had lots of fun as kids. We had lots of kids to play with, and our grandpa made boats for us out of poplar, that big thick poplar bark. He made boat with that canoe, and he put a little nail with a propeller on there, and we'd pull it along with a string along the lake and go to store, buy candies, put it in our little boat, we'd go home. And we went berry picking up the mountainside, and it's not too far. You could go up there in one day. You can pick all kinds of berries, blueberries, and go hunting different things. There's grouse and things that you can hunt. Then we'd go to fish camps along the lakes too, and we'd get trout. Dad get trout and fish nets and all kinds of other good fish and different berries at different places along the lake.
What kinds of foods did your family eat?
We ate moose meat and fish and grouse and berries and what they brought into the store. People didn't eat too much of it because they weren't used to it, and our people were healthy living off the land. Moose meat, sheep, and fish and all that, and they were healthy. They walked long ways distance, walking and camping, and all the kids they had lots of fun along the lake with all of us playing.
Did you help out with any hunting, fishing, or gathering?
Yes, we did. We would all go if our family went, like a group of ladies would go from the village, and all of the kids would go, and we'd go up in the sides of the mountain and pick berries and just go for the whole day and come back in the evening. And we'd pick berries, and our parents would shoot grouse, and we'd clean that, and rabbit, and we'd fish for grayling too along the shore of the lake, and if they got a moose, then we all had pack sack and we'd help pack it in. And everybody divided the meat amongst the people in the village. They always gave other people when they get something.
What were some of your favorite things to do for fun as a child?
To play with the kids, to play along the shore. It was clean. There was sand. There was no dust and dirt like it's here in Ross. It was nice lake shores and all kinds of pretty rocks along the shore. We would pick it and we'd make a swing on tall trees and swing on that. And when my aunt found out that we'd sneak away every day and we'd swing on this high swing that we got those older boys to put the ropes way up high, and we'd swing on that. But our aunt found out one time and she cut the ropes of our swing. We can't swing too high. She said it was too high for us and we'd get hurt.
Can you tell me about some of the traditions your family followed when you were growing up?
We had a lot of story times, and after everything in the evening, mostly, and we'd have to help pack all the water and the wood and help to get everything ready so that it's like helping them to tell us stories. And we would all be quiet. And some of the traditions that if we make any noise, the story stops. And they forgot, they say, but we knew that they didn't. We know that they didn't forget. It's just a way of telling the kids there's certain things that they can't do and get away with it. So we all learn how to behave ourselves and to be quiet and listen. And we would listen really carefully. We'd learn all about the stories, like the legends of a long time ago when there were big animals and stuff like that people had to live through, like huge animals. And all the stories were different. And the stories that they told, there's always a lesson in the stories. Like if they taught us you can't lie, you can't hide things away from your mom and dad. You always have to be open and tell them things, and you should respect the animals because you live on it. You eat the animals and treat the animals with respect. When you get it, you dress it nicely and keep them clean, and we were told all of those things. It's the lessons that we learn. So by the time I was 8, before I went to school, I knew all the legends. I knew a lot of legends, and I could sit and retell it the way they told me. And then there were certain things that girls had to do and certain things that boys had to do, and a certain age where they become men, where they could hunt and stuff. And there was a ritual of ripping the boy's sleeve when they shoot their first animal. It could be caribou or moose or smaller animal, but when they kill them, they rip the sleeve to show that they are now become a provider, a hunter, and they have to behave in that manner. They have to respect people and stuff like that. And a lot of stories they tell, you can't lie and you can't steal. And all of those were told to us to respect one another.
How has life changed from when you were young to now?
I noticed that a lot of kids don't listen to their parents, or the parents don't talk to them, and to make sure that they respect other people, other kids. They have to respect one another and are helpful to the old people. We were supposed to, Mom would tell us, you go and help your grandma and make sure that she has enough wood cut and she has water and stuff. When that's the old people, we have to help them. So we would go and cut wood for them and pack the water for them and help them with anything that they want done. And she said, if they give you money, you don't take their money. You're not to be paid for doing that to the old people, because when you grow old, one day somebody's going to do that for you too. So you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. And always respect them if they want to talk to you. And another thing is that parents, no matter who your mom and dad are, if somebody else, an older person, tell you something, you have to listen and to do what they tell you to do. You can't say, you're not my mother or you're not my dad, I'm not going to do it. You have to do it, because that's the way, that was part of our law, to show respect to people, because they say, everything that we tell you, we need you to know it's for your future, so that you could live long and have a good life.
What do you miss about the way things used to be?
I miss mostly story times, going to someone's place and the kids are all sitting there and we're telling stories, and having all the dogs tied up so no kids can get hurt, and to have the dogs tied up so you can work on your moose hide right outside your house or your dwelling. And we used to even have people that come from long ways live in tents, and they don't have to worry about dogs stealing in their tents. They have their food and everything there, and not worry about any loose dog coming to eat their food up and stuff like that. And lots of loose dogs, which is harmful for the kids and for people. I think that's why a lot of older people just drive in their trucks, because they're scared of the dogs that are loose. And I miss all the things that we used to do. Like if one person go out and get a moose, he'd tell everybody, and everybody go and get their piece of meat, whether it's small or what. They just divided amongst all the people. We always shared everything that we used to get. It's not like that anymore.
What do you hope young people today will remember, about our culture and history?
I'd like them to listen. I'd like people to go into the schools and teach about respect, about telling stories that have things like you can't lie, you can't steal, and you always have to help people and things like that, because that's missing in today's culture. Because there's a lot of kids that don't know that they shouldn't steal from anybody, and there's too much drinking right now and drugs too. That's not what we had a long time ago. And people always had their doors open. So if you go visit the door is open. You don't have to knock on anyone's door. You just come and visit them, and they respect each other.
What's something you hope young people will never forget?
That they are dene, that there's a culture that is not being taught today, that they should know how they could live out in the bush and not have to depend on all the garbage they call food at the store, because the sugar is cancer food, and a lot of food's got a lot of stuff in it that's not healthy. You're not going to be healthy if you keep eating all that store that the foods that come in. But if you live off the land, you eat the fish and the moose and grouse and stuff like that, you'd be a lot healthier. And you can eat bare roots, and it's healthy for you. And fish, it's healthy for you.
What's something you wish more people understood about our culture?
That we are a self-governing people. We have our own ways of governing ourselves. We know the land. We know how to conserve the animals. We know how to not kill everything that you see. And there's at different times of the year that you can not kill anything. Right now, in the month of May, and that a lot of people would be living on fish. And because everything are having the little ones, like the moose is having calves, and the grouse, you shouldn't kill a female because they're laying eggs and stuff. Only if you're really, really hungry and have nothing else to eat, that's the only time you can kill certain animals.
What are you most proud of about being Kaska?
Most proud?
Yes.
Because I can speak my language and I know all my laws and I live by my laws. I don't I can shoot moose anytime I feel like it. If I'm hungry, I can share it with other people. And whatever I get, I can share. And that's our law. So I like being who I am, who I was made to be. And you're never hungry when you're out in the bush, out in the woods. And if you know how to survive in the bush, and I could do that. I know how to make moose hide and a lot of other things. So, and then our land is still our land. The government is trying to take our land away, but we don't need money. We want our land. We can survive on it. And that's what I like of being a Kaska woman, because I can talk for my land. And I'm not greedy for money. I don't want no money in exchange for my land that I live on.
Well, thank you, Grandma, for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Kula?
Kola.